Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the unveiling of the Riverboat Plaque. This is a very auspicious occasion, and I think a great day for Canadian culture. That's right, the Riverboat Coffeehouse. Really the crown jewel of the Yorkville scene. The Riverboat Coffeehouse, I don't need to tell everyone, but I will point out that there were many, many coffee houses in Yorkville during the 1960s. I can name a few of them: the Purple Onion, the Penny Farthing, the Village Corner. The great news is that Heritage Toronto is going to be working with the Yorkville Residents Business Association to commemorate all of these clubs, but the Riverboat is fittingly the first one to get a plaque because it really was the premier showcase for music in Toronto from 1964 to 1978.
Thank you, Nicholas. It's great to be here on behalf of Heritage Toronto to celebrate what is probably one of Toronto's best-known former music venues, the Riverboat. A year or more ago, Chung of the Greater Yorkville Residents Association approached Heritage Toronto with the idea of doing a commemorative plaque for the Riverboat. Heritage Toronto was more than interested in the opportunity. I hardly have to explain why. It was clear to us, as it will be to many of you, that the Riverboat played a very important role in Canadian music history and in Toronto's history. Without doubt, one of Yorkville's most important music venues, its stage was graced by some of Canada's most prominent musicians, many of whom are here today. The Riverboat would not have been the Riverboat without Yorkville. Many other music venues dotted this neighborhood in the 1960s, and they all provided a venue for emerging songwriters and musicians to not only gain recognition, but to be influenced by the sights and sounds of Yorkville. Heritage Toronto has plans to commemorate a few of those other venues as well. But we start today with the Riverboat, a very special place in its own right.
All the clubs and coffee houses from those psychedelic loving days are long gone. The smoke has cleared, miniskirts and go-go boots have been tossed aside. Pretty flowers in the hair have long withered. Love beats have lost their luster. Carefree hippies have settled into middle-aged contentment. Yorkville now sanitized with designer boutiques and upscale condos. And on the Riverboat site sits the 5-star Hazelton Hotel. We are left with distant memories of those hazy days and nights when the village was a music mecca and reverberated to the strains of the many singers and songwriters of all genres who gravitated here from all over Canada to join the evolution of the Canadian sound.
The beauty of Yorkville was the concentration of all those clubs and coffee houses from Bay Street over to Avenue Road. They were literally cheek by jowl, wall to wall, door to door. There was music spilling out into the street from every doorway, just as Joni Mitchell sang in her song Night in the City. Music spilling out into the street. That she was referring to Yorkville, and just the magic of those times when music was literally sprouting like so many flowers on a one-way street.
And this is definitely tongue-in-cheek, so Bernie, don't get upset. Playing at the Riverboat was uncomfortably close to having a job. The reason that we are musicians is to try and avoid that kind of thing. 40 minutes on, 20 minutes off stage for 8 hours a night, for a week or 2 weeks at a whack. We were galley slaves in Fiedler's Riverboat. And he kept us all in thrall with the fiendishly clever device of hiring gorgeous waitresses. So simple, so obvious, so effective. Whenever I got to the circle game in the set, Bernie, who is easily amused, would fire up the rotating gels on the stage lights, making it impossible for me to get through the song due to the sophomoric giggling of my accompanist and Bernie's maniacal chortling from the control panel. Then there was the business of having to go outside in the snow to get to the dressing room, but I hate to complain. I could go on and on, but my lawyers say I should close now. Suffice to say that I have very fond, indelible memories of the boat, the Bernie, and the times. The musician, the music, the camaraderie, the testosterone levels. Long live the Riverboat. That's from Tom Rash. So thank you.
I'm profoundly touched by the recognition you've bestowed upon me to make sure the Riverboat will not be forgotten. This is a great day in my life, to be honored this way. I must tell you, about 40 years ago, a man by the name of Werner Graber, who actually had the first coffee house on the street, the 71 Coffee House, suggested or convinced me, instead of selling the coffee by the pound, because I was a coffee salesman, I should sell it by the cup. He in fact helped me build the Mauso, my first coffee house, in order, because he had this incredible vision that this could be a village like they had in Haight-Ashbury or in New York, and he was right. He was absolutely right. Yes, Werner. Werner is no longer with us, but he was absolutely right, and he was a great man. The Riverboat gave a platform to many young artists. Some of them became the biggest names worldwide. Just to mention some of them are here: Gordon Lightfoot, Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, Dan Hill, Murray McLauchlan, Bruce Coburn. I could name the name, and I'm sure you're all aware of it. I want to thank everybody for coming out and helping us celebrate and unveil this wonderful plaque. I want to thank everybody.
It's a weird feeling when your big hang, your place of repose and education suddenly becomes a heritage site. It's a very odd feeling, but I gotta stress that having a plaque in this location by no means makes any of this crowd one bit more respectable.
Which way? Which way?
I